ni Facebook, you aren't scheduled until, ay, hello, everyone.
Hello, we're live.
Yay! We're live!
No
Wala pa ring
matter what.
applause. Wala pa
Wala
ring
pa
sound,
din.
no? Oh,
Kami na lang.
forget it.
Ano na
Oh,
lang, kami
tayo
na
na
lang.
lang. Tayo na lang. I-overlay ko na lang pag pinodcast for
Ng
ito.
Ayan.
Anyway.
Kamusta naman, guys? How are you guys? How's the ECQ in Manila?
Lord,
Same. Yeah.
Same old. How's everything? How's the, ano na ba? Meron na bang improvement dyan sa ECQ sa Manila or still this? Di ba, ano na kayo?
We're like,
MG, ano? Modified, super modified,
we're like
enhanced
clueless.
quality.
We don't know what Q is it already.
Slightly enhanced quarantine procedures. Slightly enhanced lang. Anong pinagkaabalaan nyo during the week? Anything
Parang
new?
this past days, I was like listening to radio kasi parang I was trying to find another way to, kasi nakakabato di ba? Dahil we're all quarantined inside our homes. So, naisip ko, makinig na lang ako ulit ng radio. And alam mo yun, naalala ko yung mga, nung college, nung high school na nakikinig ako ng radio stations. Parang, ang simple lang ng buhay dati, no? Wala ka masyadong pakinggan mo lang sila. And then, ang laki na ng difference. Napansin ko, ang laki na ng difference. So, parang nanibago ako. So, hindi ko na alam kung ano yung bago ngayon sa mga radio stations na pinapakinggan ko. And ang dami na rin nagbago.
Oo
Do you still have radio? May radio. Kasi wala na kami radio dito eh. Yung radio ko na lang dito is sa sasakyan na lang.
There's an app.
Yung radio parang naging online na rin. Let's say sa Facebook.
There's an
YouTube.
app that you can download where you can listen to different radio stations all over the world. So I was like, I'm using that app sa phone. Then I was just like, kumusta na kaya? Kumusta na yung mga radio stations na pinapakinggan ko before? And nakakagulat kasi iba hindi na, wala na sila. Parang
Alam mo yung na-miss kong radio station?
What?
NU107.
Oh my God.
NU107.
Who doesn't? Lahat naman tayo, di ba?
Ever since nung nagkamalay na ako, parang yun na naging favorite ng station eh. Kasi gaganda ng mga sounds na pinapatutog nila doon.
NU107? Oo. Kasi nung time natin, doon nag-start yung rock evolution eh. Alternative rock evolution.
Oo.
And NU107 was the source of
And
those
dahil
type of
dyan,
music.
kasi nga di ba parang nakinig ulit ako ng radio. I was like looking for those DJs na pakinggan ko before. And I was like, there's this one radio show that I'm always listening to when I was a kid. Parang talk show siya, pero late night siya. Every Wednesday night. It's in 𝐃𝐉 103.5. Pero wala na siya ngayon. So, like, iba na nag-reformat sila and everything. There's this one radio show that I'm always listening to na parang every night, every Wednesday night, inaabangan ko talaga siya. And I was so na-shock ako kasi ni-research ko sa Facebook yung mga DJ, yung mga nandun sa show na yun. And I was so, nalungkot ako kasi nalaman ko na yung one of the DJ was already passed away. So, I was like, parang nakakalungkot. Pero yun, sa kanya ko narinig yung mga iba't ibang 90s anime. So, natatuwa. Parang naalala ko lang na ito yung pinapakinggan ko dati. And then, of course, yung mga different radio stations na naalala ko, yung mga jingle nila. Yung mga Pirates of the Airwaves, yung mga ganun. Parang, nakakamiss yung mga jingle. Parang talaga, nakaka-so 90s. Diba?
Yung mga jingle.
Ko lang yung Zach and Joe.
Alam niyo ba, si Joey or Thelma, she used to be my English trainer sa previous job ko, somewhere in Ortigas. So we knew her as Thelma. Hindi Joy. Parang, kasi yun yung name.
Layo ng Thelma sa Joy.
Sabi ko, siya pala yun sa radio station na pinapakinggan ko every morning. Tapos yun.
Paano niyo nalaman na siya yun dahil sa boses?
Hindi, tsaka kinikwento niya sa amin eh. Kinikwento niya. And she's not the only one na parang DJ or band vocalist na naging English trainer namin. Meron pang isa. Yun. The husband of Scarlett. Ate Scarlett. Yeah. So, English trainer din namin. Tapos parang, tapos niya, guys, kasi kami graveyard. So, sabi niya, papasok na ako sa NU, parang gano'n. Kasi walking distance lang yung office namin sa NU 107 office natin. So parang lalakad lang siya tapos papasok na siya ganun. Sobrang nakakamiss na.
Nakapasok na ba kayo sa studio ng ng mga radio
Oo.
stations before?
Radio station, once lang.
Tambay. Hindi. Parang hindi naman tambay. Kasi nung high school, nalala ko lagi kaming pupunta sa Cool 106 tsaka sa 95.5. Alam mo yung may DJ booth tapos ano ka doon, tatambay kayo doon sa labas. Tapos pag naka-off air sila, makipagkwentuhan ka sa mga DJ. Yan. Tsaka Star FM sa may EGI. Nalala ko pa yun. So long ago.
Actually, ako na-disappoint ako eh. Parang iba yung expectation ko. Kala ko may disco ball, tapos may balls.
That was different.
Pala isang kwarto lang na parang, oh my God, paano kayo nabubuhay dito? Ang dilim.
Madilim? Sure ka bang ano yan?
Ibang DJ.
Dim. Kumaga parang
Dim.
hindi siya yung parang, parang kwarto ko lang siguro.
Pero di ba, nakakamiss
Tapos
makinig
yung
yung mga
mga
radio, especially FM stations.
Oo,
Going to
ako,
work, pag ready to school, ganun, Tsaka ginagawa ko kasi ng alarm clock nung high school ako. So, alam ko na yung oras kahit hindi ko tingnan yung relo. Kasi, alam ko yung time slot ng mga DJs. Pag 5 a.m. na, si DJ ganito na. 5 a.m. na, so kailangan ko na mag-ready to school. Ganun. Ikaw, Mr. George.
Ano ako eh. Wala. Nakikinig ako hindi sa FM eh. Mas preferred ko AM eh.
AM? Old soul.
AM yung
Oh,
666. Yung
AM. 666
630.
DCRH TCMM.
DCRH.
You know why? Siguro, and that's the reason probably why ako pumasok din sa podcasting. Alam mo ba, napansin ko lang, and it came as a realization recently na yung mga AM stations before, parang some form of podcast pala yung ginagawa nila.
Yes,
Kasi,
exactly.
di ba? Kasi,
Okay.
Diba?
Oo.
That's what they do. Sa AM, they talk and talk and talk. Bale, sinasabi nila lahat ng mga opinions nila, current events. And they're basically like any other podcast na yung mga non-economists, kumwari, nag-discuss about the economy. Nagpapakalat ng mga
what they called, documentary
opinionate,
or commentary shows, mga ganun.
commentary shows.
First
Jotaro,
first form of podcasts.
First form of podcasting na ang nagkaiba lang is everything now is on demand. Pero if they had something like this before, podcast na pala yung ginagawa nila. Mas, kumbaga, di ba? We just sort of re-engineered the whole thing.
It just so happened that it's live. Kasi di ba, most of the podcasts are parang recorded na siya. But, of course, sa AM and FM radio, they're live. So, yung mga bloopers talaga, maririnig mo on the air.
And I'm sure they had recordings back then as well. Hindi lang siya accessible, unlike us. Now when we do these recordings, everyone can access this. May YouTube ka, may Facebook ka. They normally just store this on this, the old, old tapes dati. Di ba yun naman yung pinag-istora ng mga recordings before? So meron, I really, hindi ko alam kung may nag-i-store pa niya, malamang dinispose ng iba dyan. Ang ganda sana kung may mga remasters yung mga
I remember,
dating mga stations na ganun.
Yung radio station, yung radio show na pinapakinggan ko, they record the show. Tapos parang, if I remember it quick, kasi syempre pa ako nun, high school pa lang ako nun. Parang pag Christmas party, meron silang papalabas nila yung tape or parang ganun. But that was so long ago.
That was so long ago. Everything about the show is so long ago.
Nakakamiss, Nakakamiss yung mga 90s radio stations, especially yung mga wala na ngayon. Parang, ang sarap balikan. Lalo na hinahanap ko yung mga kung sana nga, yung katulad sila ng Mr. George kanina, kung may mga recorded nung mga shows nila, hinahanap ko sa YouTube. May mga ibang nag-upload, may mga ibang hindi ko, like yung mga jingle from the 90s up to 2000s, ganun, ina-upload nila. Nakakamiss. Nakakamiss
pakinggan.
May nag-survive.
Marami.
May iba, pero yung iba, they shifted to to online. Like sa Facebook na rin, Facebook page na rin sila nagla-live ng nila, nagbo-broadcast, parang tayo ganun.
Yes. So yeah, before going any deeper yan, sige, simulan na natin. Ang topic natin for today is radio. But before that, sige, may special guest tayo ngayon who will, give us insights Na starstruck. Give it
Kasi I've
insights
been
on what's happening behind
Naka-English
the
ka nga
scenes
bigla eh.
on
kasi
radio.
I've been listening to her since her early years in broadcasting and I was like I didn't know that she's the same DJ that I'm listening from the previous station to another ko, ha? Siya pala yun, parang ganyan. Tapos yun, sobrang starstruck lang ako. Kasi
So
nakakamiss
everyone,
on.
nakakamiss. So everybody watch out. Today's topic. But before that, here's the intro. Hello everybody and welcome to Bata 90s Papang Show where we talk about all things 90s. I'm Mr. George.
And I'm Kryndall.
I'm Jacob.
Samahan nyo kaming talakayin at balikan ang mga nakakatuwang topics na nagisna ng mga titos and titas ng henerasyon ngayon. And you can also listen to the podcast when it goes up on Anchor.fm and its linked affiliates like Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts. Also, if you like the content, please make sure to follow and like the Mint TV PH Facebook page if you haven't already. And we also have our own YouTube channel now. We've created a YouTube channel for Battle 90s Pop. It's there by the schedule sa Facebook. So i-click nyo lang yung link doon. So you can also watch there. And also, of course, we have our Facebook group. So if you want to continue our discussion on 90s topics, please do join our Facebook group. And yan, let's continue to discuss kung ano man yung where we left off during the podcast or whatever have you on during the 90s. Any 90s topic you have. So yeah, for today, our topic, as I said, is about radio. And as I said, today, we have a very special guest. Ano siya? She was a previously a DJ of Monster Radio RX 93.1, NU 107, and 103.5 𝐃𝐉. Please let us all give a round of applause to DJ Trish. Yay! Round of applause!
Hi guys! Hi!
Hello.
Hi, DJ Fish.
Hi! Thank you
Welcome
so
to the
much
show.
for inviting me, guys. Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure.
It's a
Yeah.
Yes. So, ayan. DJ Trish, before we begin, baka meron kayong mga events or mga shows na you want to plug
Not at the moment,
moment.
but
Okay.
please do follow my Facebook page. I'm pretty sure Mint TV will be able to link you guys there. But yeah, follow Mint TV, please, guys. Do it.
Ay, thank
Do it
you.
now. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
DJ Trish. Ayan, so
Nako,
yung topic...
DJ
Oo.
Trish.
Oo nga, kulit eh. Kasi sa backstage, pinag-usapan, huwag DJ Trish. Ang kulit.
Okay lang.
Sanay.
I'll forgive
Ang
you. It's
nasanay.
okay. It's okay.
Ang hirap eh, nasanay eh. Automatic eh. Anyway,
Okay
ayun,
lang.
Trish, yun, pag-usapan natin kasi yung about radio. And yun nga, as we talked about offline, off stage or whatever, na kami nga, we're listeners. So we're really interested to know kung ano yung, how's life, how's being a DJ back in the 90s. And yan, yung mga behind the scenes. And also a little further in the program, pag-usapan din natin kung ano yung mga experiences natin, what were our most memorable experiences involving radio back in the 90s. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So Trish, I have a question. Actually, first question ko, and this is not part of the list of questions I sent you earlier.
Okay.
Please, ano na naman, basic lang naman to.
Darn
This is
it,
just a
where's my
basic one.
manager?
I'm sorry. Ayan, ang first question lang naman is, I mean, kasi when we were kids in the 90s, we look up to DJs eh. Kasi nga, we're fascinated, with the, kasi it's one part of entertainment for us. So pag nakikinig kami, parang ang ganda-ganda naman boses niya whenever she's very vibrant or he's very vibrant whenever he speaks. Ganyan. So we really like You know, parang ang sarap maging work. Ang sarap maging work na maging DJ. Ang sarap maging DJ as parang maging occupation mo yon. So ang question ko din is, back in the 90s ba, meron bang parang special na, may mga requirements? So if they were going to hire a DJ then, what were the things that you should have para, ayun, ma-hire ka?
You know, if I were to be honest, Mr. George, I wouldn't know. Kasi I never applied to be a DJ. I never applied.
Oh.
But I was kind of discovered. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but I had no intentions of being on radio. I had no intentions of pursuing broadcasting. In fact, in high school, I thought I would end up on Broadway.
Oh.
Alam mo, diba? I thought I was going to be, somewhere in the arts, in terms of like theater or music or whatnot. But yeah, like I said, hala, ang laki ng mukha ko. Wag ganyan.
Or ganyan. Or ganyan. Or ganyan.
Ganyan na lang, okay lang. Para
Ganyan na lang?
tayo.
Okay.
Talaga si George nang gugulat.
Nagulat.
Full screen pa naman. But yeah, I wasn't, like I said, I never applied. Hindi ako nag-apply. It was a friend of mine back in high school who was really interested in radio. And at RX 93.1, there was a student DJ program there.
Yeah.
And that's how, Radio 1. And that's how I was kind of discovered. Kasi sinamahan ko siya when she boarded one night. Boarded is, when we go to work. Yun, nagsasalita, we were just, talking during her shift. And I suppose one of the DJs, Bruce Romano, who was then holding or handling Radio 1, heard me speak, and he said, "You want to be a DJ?" I said, "Nope." And
Ano to,
21 years
off-
later.
Sorry,
Yeah,
off-air
this was
yun? Yung
off.
nag-uusap kayo off-air? Okay.
Mm-mm. Yeah. We were just talking as friends. I was like, "What are you doing? What song are you to play?" Parang ganun eh. Kinukulit ko yung friend ko habang nag-shift siya or nagbo-board siya. So, yun, narinig niya ako, "Do you want to be a DJ?" I said, "Honestly, no. I wanted to be a teacher by that point." Kasi, diba? So, it was kind of a discovery. But to answer your question, I suppose back in the 90s, you had to have a twang, as they say.
Because it's
Oh,
RX.
okay.
It's RX is more like
Yeah.
that twang, that American twang, that neutral twang, and you have to have a good grasp of English. I think sana naman today ganun din. Sana.
Wala
I don't know.
Bako eh.
Maaari, hindi ko alam. But yeah, just I guess a vibrant personality, a good sounding voice, not too nasal, not too much of this or too much of that. Yeah, I guess that was it. Whatever I sound like, I suppose is what they were looking for at the time. So, di ko alam.
Tas nung time ba na yon? Kasi RX 93.1, no? When was this? 1995? 19 or
Di naman,
which
ang
year?
sakit.
2018.
mga late 90s.
Sorry,
naman
2018 pala.
No, this was, I
Lumalabas
started in radio in 1997. So it's been a while. So I had just graduated from high school. I was 18, turning 19. So that's how young I was when I started in the industry. Very young.
So you don't need to be a college grad to actually start your career in radio.
In her case, probably. Yeah.
Kids, finish school.
Yeah.
We're not condoning. Not yet. Well, I never, I'm an undergrad because I started working, I think it was my
Really?
third year or second year college at UST. And hindi ko nakayanan yung work and school. And my parents saw that. And so my parents said, choose. Do you want to go to school or do you want to work? I said, work. I can always go back to school. 21 years later. I'm not condoning it. Go to school. Yeah.
Or kung ayaw nyo school, mag-podcast na lang din kayo. Same thing.
Pwede.
You know what?
So
While
eventually,
listening to DJ Trish, Para ako nakikinig ng radio.
But, sige, gusto mo off-cam na lang ako para,
Para complete experience.
diba?
Yung feeling na naririnig mo siya. Yeah.
Para complete
so
experience, off-cam na lang ako, Kryndall.
so Trish, when you sinabi mo na when you were choosing between work and school, so apparently, ba sabi mo kanina, you did not intend to become a DJ in the very beginning. Pero eventually, I think you began to love the work kasi, I mean, choosing between school. Well, ako if I were a DJ, anything kasi parang anything other than school kasi ako So between school and anything, I'll choose anything. Pero I'm sure in your case, you were enjoying whatever you're doing there.
Pasaway ka pala, George. Pasaway ka.
Pasaway ako.
Well,
Pasaway ako eh. Mm-mm.
Look, obviously, in the heart of every DJ, in their heart of hearts, their passion really is music. I think talk is secondary. I don't think you will find a DJ, at least on FM, who will say, no, I don't really like music, or I'm not into music. I'm just in it for the craft or talking. So I suppose that's where the love of radio came about, because I really was, yun na nga I wanted to be on stage in terms of a singer and acting. So I really did love music. And yeah, I suppose the answer to your question is yes. It just grew. It was a different kind of stage that I was on, a stage that I couldn't see. And I couldn't,
You could just
if I
listen.
couldn't see the audience. Pero I knew that, kahit paano, there was at least one person listening to me. So I guess that's where the love grew for radio. Yeah.
Yes. Ang galing. And then, what about in terms of work? So, meron bang mga nuances about DJ work na probably added to the enjoyment and to the love of DJing? I don't know what you call DJing, disc jockeying,
Broadcasting.
disc jockeying,
I don't know.
broadcasting,
Broadcasting, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the perks, if that's what you're asking about, is we get to hear new music first. Diba? The record
Yes.
labels give us the singles before they're officially released. Kasi that was the plan of attack for most record labels, to get their single out first before anyone heard it, diba? And now you can get it everywhere, even before it's
Yes.
originally,
Exactly.
diba? So I guess that was a perk. Another perk, obviously, was to meet your idols, or I'm a fan myself, so whenever I get to meet artists that I love, that's a perk. So nuances. What do you mean by nuances? Like,
I don't know anything about siguro anything about technical stuff behind the scenes.
There's a lot. You were saying earlier that siguro masarap maging DJ. Yeah, that because that's how we make it sound.
Yes.
That's how we make it sound, diba? We're supposed to do that. But in any kind of show and any kind of work, you never really see like what happens. You only see the finished product. So what you hear on the radio is our finished product, but you don't see us, trying to figure out what song to play, or what songs sound good together, or calculating in our head how much time we have left in an hour. So there's math to it. There's math to it.
Okay, that made me curious, no? Is the show not that spontaneous? Parang meron rin siyang
no,
structure in a manner of speaking, or parang you go with the flow based on who listens, or
Go
the
with the
callers
flow.
maybe.
Go with the flow siya. May specific structure, like when you open a book, there's a table of contents, but you don't know what's in it, diba?
Right.
So I suppose every show has a table of contents, but whatever what kind of mood we are in for that day, siguro yun ang nangyayari during the show. Because sometimes I bet
So we would know
Kryndall
if
knows
you're
this for a fact.
depressed. Happy.
Yes, I was just about to say. Kryndall probably knows when I was in a bad mood, because if she's been listening since RX, grabe. Yeah, I was in a bad mood a lot of times. Naman, yes. And also, obviously, we're there to make our listeners happy. So kung may request sila, and that's where I bounce off. That's where DJs usually bounce off. So Yeah.
So meron kayong set list ba? Tama ba? Are you the ones selecting
Specific
the
songs to
songs that you're
play.
playing for your specific program? Or may set
It
list na naka-prepare?
depends. It depends on the radio station. Kumbaga, for example, not kumbaga. For example, at RX back in my time, we had a specific number of songs that we were going to play. Let's just say 30 songs that are available for everyone, and that's on rotation. You know, at a place like NU, there was a playlist. Like, kasi we had over 10,000 songs at NU.
Ooh.
Eh, kung mag-iisip ka,
Okay.
di ba? Like, if you're gonna sit there and go, what am I gonna play? Eh di, wala. You're gonna sit there all day thinking about what you're gonna play.
Exactly.
So may
The-
playlist siya.
Mm.
We have a program that selects songs for us. We print that out basically, and that's what we line up for
Computer program?
It was a computer program, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Nung
High-tech.
time ko na ha. Nung time ko na sa sa
High-tech.
NU.
Mm.
Yeah, high touch,
Mm.
yes. Sa K-Light ganun din. There's like a structure per hour. Dati, again, when I was there, there's a structure per hour, pero it's up to the DJ to choose what song to play. So, again, table of
Uh,
contents.
Now, I'm curious about this part, no? I'm not sure if you're allowed to share or answer
I'm
this.
allowed.
When, okay. Hindi
I'm
kasi,
not affiliated
before,
with anyone anymore.
nga naman. Before kasi, we were trying to pass our EP or LP to stations in hopes of getting played on the air. Do you have those parang privilege to di ba, kasi since you mentioned you pick a song based on the program's printout, do you have an option or the privilege to parang isingit, let's say, uy, gusto mo ba ito ni Jacob?
No.
That's
No.
for
No,
intro,
no.
di ba?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. There are
Okay. So, specific
specific programs for each radio station, I suppose. Kryndall is right. And you used to have In the Raw with Francis Brew. And
Brew, yeah.
when
Yeah.
that's where everybody would submit their demos. Pero,
Mm.
we
Police
would
station.
receive a lot of demos, and some made the cut, some didn't. So sorry. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meron tayong question dito from the comment section, Trish. So have you ever been sanctioned by something you said on air
No.
before? No, nice.
Oh, I'm a good girl. Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
I've never been. The only reason why I wasn't sanctioned is because I was never caught. There are slips of the tongue, diba? We are but human, diba? And obviously, the way I spoke to you guys off the air is quite different than how I'm
Different.
talking to you now,
Yeah,
diba?
yeah.
So there's a presence of mind, but sometimes that slips, diba? On the
Exactly.
air. Oh, so
Mm.
it's pero there's a way you recover from that. It's you pretend like it never happened. Like if I accidentally swore on the air, diba? Or I forgot to turn off my mic and nagmura ako. Just pretend like it never happened. What? I don't know what you guys are talking. What? Ano? Sino yun? No, what are you guys talking about? Wala nagmura,
tsaka-
excuse me.
Tsaka wala pang masyadong social media nun to capture that, yung mga incidents.
Oo.
na ganyan.
Alam mo, when I started, ang sakit mo magsalita, Kryndall, kasi when I started, wala pang internet. Alam mo, seryoso, walang internet. I started out as a newscaster at yung source namin dati were newspapers, diba? And magazines.
So you have
We
to
did,
read them.
Chong, easy call pa nga yung easy call.
Oh my God, easy call pager pa.
So inado ko pa yata yung pager ng RX
Na-
dati.
Oh.
Easy
90s
call one.
technology.
Kryndall, aray ko. Busina ka naman. Grabe.
Umabot din kasi
Yeah.
ako sa pager, so don't worry. I used
Oo
to
naman.
page RX before, and then K-Light with DJ. I'm not sure if you remember yung Nightlight show with
Yeah, of course.
Little David, Monica,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jessie the Blade. So I used
Yeah.
to page them.
Diba? Page, tapos call mom. Tapos maghahanap ka pa ng payphone. Diba? Before yung mga
5
bloke na
pesos.
cellphone, diba? Yung
Oo nga.
Nokia
yung,
Yung parang
yung
pang
color red.
33,
Son Ericsson na.
485, yung talagang bloke. Diba na flip phone, na maghahanap ka na, you turn your cell phones upside down, thinking that the message will drop and be sent. Yun na nga. So, Joseph, I hope that answers your question. That's my question.
Ang hirap eh. Oo. Parang ang hirap nga eh. I mean, dito sa podcast pa lang eh. I mean, whenever we try discussing stuff,
Yeah.
tas medyo controversial, tas medyo heated or di ba? Ang hirap i-control yung
Kailangan may
emotions mo.
disclaimer.
Oo. Yun nga eh, kasi as a podcast, wala kasing censorship na involved eh. Pero pagdating sa radio kasi, ang lakas ng censorship. Hindi, mahirap ma-censor, basically, on radio.
Exactly.
Ayan. Hello. Ayan.
Hi, sorry.
Trish, hello.
Sabi ko sa inyo eh. Sabi ko sa inyo, wala. I just never was caught. All right, as you were saying, nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
No one saw
And
it.
just going back doon, no, kasi yung sa songs, yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina yung setlist nyo, have you involved before in any program na you were doing top 10, top 20 lists and then you're counting down on the music? Na-involved ka ba doon? I'm curious kasi kung how do they actually choose yung top 20, yung top 1? Kasi top 1 medyo debatable yan eh. Siyempre magagalit yung iba na ba't yung song ko hindi top 1? Bakit ano yan? Bakit huling El Bimbo yan? O, di ba gano'n? Bakit hindi River Maya? May mga ganong klaseng mga So I'm just curious na, I don't know if you're probably aware kung paano nila sineselect yung mga top ones, yung rankings. Then.
Okay, from what I remember with NU, because most of my career was with that station, with NU, we had a set of current songs that people could vote for throughout the day. Or anytime somebody requested for this specific song, kunwari, let's just take River Maya. Wag na init ulo baby. Kunwari ganon. Every time somebody would request or somebody would vote for it, itatali talaga de mano by hand talaga. And then at the end of the week, at NU it was the top 7, I think. Stairway to 7 was the chart show there. And then the big old surprise was, you would keep the weekly results, and then at the end of the year, you would see, who would be song of the year at least for Stairway to 7. That was Countdown. I think that was called Countdown 107. So that's basically how it is. There's a set number of current songs that people can vote for, if that is their format, if that's the radio station's format. There's a set number of current songs that they can vote for, and then it's really up to the listener. So if River Maya wasn't number 1, it's your fault because you didn't vote for that.
You didn't call.
No, the problem, Trish, is kasi ang hirap din makakontakt nun. Remember, it was the time of the landline, the era of the landline. So it was very difficult to connect to any radio station. It was so frustrating. Frustrating to connect.
Sorry. On behalf of all DJs, George, I'm sorry.
Nagalit eh. Hindi,
Binap daw ako. Nawala.
wag na init ulo, baby. And then, ang tanong ko lang, kasi, question ko lang din dyan. I don't know if this is something na sensitive kasi siya. Meron bang say yung mga record labels dyan? Sa mga top 1, like top 1 or top 2, ganun.
Sa akin, like in my experience, no. I've never, no. I've never been approached. But then again, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Sorry. But I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, I don't know what it is or how it is on, with different radio stations or other radio stations. But the stations that I have been in, para lang si 𝐃𝐉 kasi that was a different kind of format. I've never heard of a record label saying, "Uy, ipa number 1 naman to." No. Wala.
Push niyo yung bata ka
sa NU pa?
Push niyo sa number 1.
Oh yeah, NU is
Are you
a bit
sure?
rebellious.
Are you sure you want to do that? I don't think so. Yeah. So from my experience, no.
Yung NU107 ba? I don't remember NU107 is the kind of station that will take parang requests or parang call-in na mga...
Pwede.
Meron ba call-in requests din? Hindi ko maalala yung 107. I remember other stations do that. But NU107, I don't remember doing it. But they do. Do they?
Si Kryndall, ano yun?
They do?
Sige, go. Kryndall, sige.
Pwede.
It was called
Pwede
Remote Control
naman.
Weekend. Oo.
Remote
Yeah.
control weekend. But you don't kasi yung ibang stations, 'di ba uso dati yung mga kung wala tatawag ako. We have a call here from Mr. George. Si Mr. George magkasalita. Dedicate ko lang po itong song na ito kay ganito, ganyan. I don't think any 107 does that. I
Kung
think what you
106,
just
punta ka na konti,
no.
pihit ka ng konti. Kung 106 does that eh.
106.7.
Oo.
Ay, iba yun.
ayun pa yung mahirap.
Ano? Yeah.
Kasi ginagawa namin yung tatawag, di ba? Kasi binabati ko yung mga classmates ko, ganun. Oo.
Yeah.
Yung pa yung
Depende sa
mahirap
form.
nun. Yung pa yung mahirap sa NU107 din. Kasi Cool 106 before, ang lakas ng frequency niya sa Maynila if I remember. NU107 hindi masyado nung time na yun. Although of course, we want to listen to NU107 pero pag hinahanap yung frequency, ang hirap minsan.
Yeah.
Dulo
Pero,
kasi siya. Tapos,
you know what they say, it's worth looking for. Parang pag-ibig lang yan. Patience, diba? Hanapin mo. Tapos pag nahanap mo yan, gold. So,
alam mo yung
Wag mo na
radio
uling
stations ba
lipat.
pinag-uusapan natin or pag-ibig? Sorry.
pag-ibig. alam mo yung feeling na pag nahanap yung sweet spot sa radio, yung talagang ang ganda, yan na.
Exactly.
Yan na yung boses.
Yeah.
Hindi na pwedeng galawin. Diba?
Di na pwede.
Nobody move!
Oo, so satisfying.
Exactly.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Actually, yung 107, nag-start lang rin ako makinig yan nung digital na yung rate. Di ba dati parang analog pa yung kailangan?
Yung TS.
Knob in. Mahirap nga naman siya kasi parang ang liit ng sweet spot na yun.
Kung paano mo siya
Yeah.
Tapos pag nasagi lang, mag-aaway na sa kotse. Bakit mo iiyak na ako na tapos.
Paano ulit, Jacob? Hindi ko nakuha
I remember that kasi pag hinahatid ako sa school, nakikinig ako ng 107. Tapos parang yung driver namin that time, parang pagkukuha ng change para magbabayad sa toll, 'di ba? Hahagisan mo lang ng piso 'yun. Oh my god, ang tagal na nun. Parang nasasagi niya yung knob. So parang ako naman mabubwisit ako, sira na kagad yung umaga ko dahil ang hirap-hirap hanapin ng sweet spot na 'yun.
Tapos magagalaw lang.
Huwag init mo ng baby nga
Hindi pa nare-release Hindi pa nare-release ng time na yun.
Let it go, Jacob. Let it go. Hinahagis pa yung toll. Let it
Hinahagis
go.
yung toll.
Yeah. As long as you can find that sweet spot. Diba? Again.
Ang hirap.
Yeah.
Ang weird. Ayan, yung ano tawag dito, talking about yung sa mga call-in requests. May question ako na, have you experienced anything weird? Na may mga callers ba na by the way,
weird
ang question
callers.
Before that, Trish, question ko is, do you actually receive calls? Because I understand sa ibang stations may mga tech case kayo na they're actually the ones answering the calls and then taking in the requests for you. Or do DJs do that as well?
Well, again, during my time, everything was, done by the DJ on board. So whether it was RX, like I said, a lot of things happen off the air that people don't know about. Before, I think Kryndall would know this if she really does listen. Half the show happens off the air. Kasi ang dami namin ginagawa and all you hear is finished products. So if we have to, answer a phone call or take in requests, again, in terms of and RX, yun yung part na hindi nila nakikita or hindi nyo nakikita that we pick up the phone. RX, hello. RX, hello. Okay. Yeah, yung ganun.
While muted,
you
do that calling and...
Yeah,
okay.
while the song is playing, diba?
Playing.
Especially kung may contest, kunwari, diba? Usually though, my time at NU, I never picked up the phone. Sorry.
Aha.
Only for contests and stuff. Kasi nga, there was no need during the week to pick up the phone unless there was a contest because everything was set na. Unless the DJ was feeling a bit lonely and they'd flick the switch and they'd pick up the phone and say, "Hi, who's this?" Tapos, pwede ba makipag-chat meet? Or
Ganun pa.
Oh!
di naman, joke lang yun, Jacob. That never happened. Never happened. But yeah, I never really had the I didn't have to answer the phone eh. The only time that I would answer the phone sa NU was during remote control weekend. And even then, we wouldn't put people on the air. Kunwari yung, I just like to, request yada 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 and dedicated to yada 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 and I love you. Walang ganun sa NU eh. So,
wala.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
sige nga, Jacob,
Wala.
tumawa ka nga sa NU. Tapos i-request mo yung dare you to move?
Actually, not me. Kasi yung ate ko, kilala niya si Thelma back then. Parang papunta kami ng school nun. Tapos parang biglang, syempre, inaantok-antok ka pa. Tapos biglang, like to give a shout out to 𝐃𝐉 𝐓𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡. Parang, nagulat ako bigla. Tapos alam ng ate ko kasi na mahilig ako sa songs like yung long hair, yung mga ganung klaseng tugtugan pa. Tapos parang yun yung ni-request. Nagulat ako. So parang paano natawagan ng ate ko? Parang ganun. So what I thought was pwedeng tumawag and pwedeng mag-request in that particular segment. Kay Zach and Joe yun, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So, yun. So, pwede, di ba? Or not,
First of all, hindi ko akalain that you would, metal ka pala, Jacob, kasi
kalbo.
I never knew that. That's number one. Secondly, I guess if you have a direct line to the DJ on board, like if you have their pager number or if you have your
You're
cell
friends
phone
with the
number.
DJ.
Friends with the DJ.
May perks.
May perks.
But again, you try your luck. I guess with Zach and Joey, they would answer the phone a lot. I know that. Kasi when Zach and Joey were on in the morning sa NU, I was on RX in the morning. So
I
hindi
see.
ko
Okay.
napakinggan. Yeah.
Di
But
ba,
Hindi kayo
Trish,
nag-abot?
sila yung nag-replace kay
Oo.
sa akin, Joe, di ba? Si Mondo,
Yes.
tsaka siya.
ang galing ni Kryndall. Alis na ako. Si Kryndall na to.
We have a historian here
Galing,
kasi
yeah.
of music and
Oh,
arts.
that's sweet. That's sweet.
Mer-
Yeah. Again,
Actually,
it just
may
depends on
naremem-
the DJ. Sorry, go ahead.
It depends on the DJ. Yeah, sorry, Trish. No, I was saying kasi, no, I was fortunate enough to visit one of the radio stations, the 97.1 Campus Radio. 97.1. Yan, nakavisit ako sa radio station na yon. And then there was one thing that I saw which was really funny na at that time kasi I think they were asking for requests and dedications and no one was calling the booth. So what they did was they brought out this phone. There was an artificial phone. And then they attached it to parang a port there. And now they can actually try to mimic a call. So it's like a parang fake call eh. Ay, naku, secret pala to. Industry secret pala to sinasabi ko. Ganun yung ginawa nila. And then what happened was, I was there at the booth, sabi niya, sige, salita ka lang dyan, mag-request ka ng song.
Oh, wow. No,
So,
talaga?
they do
I
that.
never-
Yeah, they do that.
Hala, binuking mo sila. Ano ba yan?
Oo nga eh. Meron pa, that was, by the way, that was 20 plus years ago. So I don't know. I'm sure they would have upgraded their systems.
I'm pretty sure.
Mas legit na. Mas realistic na.
Nasa labas na yung tao na tumatawa na cellphone.
Oo.
Siya ka pwede nang mag-text di ba?
Oo.
You
Yeah,
just
but-
text.
Yeah, but then that's just something funny that I thought I'd like to share. And then ano pa ba? Yung mga, what about yung meron pa ba kayo yung mga ibang mga funny stories dyan, DJ Trish, on backstage, yung mga nangyayari dyan?
Oh, I have a question pala.
Ay, sige,
Is-
si Jacob muna.
Okay.
like, kumbaga, Mr. George asked this back in the last episode. Were you
Oh, no.
recognized as a DJ when, when, kumbaga pag say, lumalabas ka lang parang normally, as on a normal day-to-day, parang, are you being recognized as a DJ of a radio station?
Nung RX, no. But NU, yes. Kasi NU was very visible. We would have, events every now and
Rock
then.
awards.
Rock awards, yung mga pocket
Okay.
concerts and stuff like that. But every time that it would happen, I'd be very flabbergasted. I'd be taken aback. Like, how the heck what? Paano mo? Ha? You haven't seen my face before. Parang ganun eh.
Mm.
Um, and then I suppose recently, not naman recently, but over the past couple of years, maybe 5, 6 years ago, I would be recognized. And again, I have no idea how. It's either they know my voice very well or they've seen me. Kasi nga, when I started at NU, that's when social media was just about to Friendster pa nga nun eh, diba? It was
Oh my
beginning to
God.
Tingin naman testimony after that's when the social
Testy.
media
Testy pa.
boom diba? was happening eh. So I suppose that's why I was being recognized, or the jobs were being recognized, because we were more visible in terms of social media, on Friendster, the events.
MySpace.
We have never had MySpace. Live journal.
Okay. Live journal.
High five.
Friendster.
Oo.
Friendster.
Friendster tsaka live journal ako dati eh. But yeah.
Friendster. Yeah.
Bihira. I guess if that, I guess that was what I loved about being on radio at first. There's a certain level of anonymity. Because I don't get here, to be completely honest, I don't get when people say, like kanina na starstruck si Kryndall. I don't get that. I don't understand that. It doesn't register. Kasi I don't think of, because obviously when you're starstruck, it means that you're looking at a celebrity or someone famous. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, because I don't see my audience. All I see is a microphone and headphones, diba? And
yes.
a computer
Makes
screen.
sense.
So I don't see the impact, kumbaga. So when Kryndall said na start, why? I could be, malay mo, diba, back in the day, I could be sitting next to her and she wouldn't know I was Trish of whatever radio station I was part of. So, yeah, there was a certain level of anonymity before that. You don't have to watch what you do or watch what you say, or watch what you're drinking or doing. But with the advent of social media and I suppose exposure, yeah, people started to recognize me. So I just kept quiet. Hindi na ako nagsasalita. Yun.
What would have been the most memorable fan interaction
Oh Lord.
that
Memorable?
you had? Or parang, yeah. The
Okay, Jacob,
wildest
you have
one,
to
the most-
let's clarify. What do you mean memorable? Memorable na nakakatawa or nakakatakot?
Either of
Be.
the two. Which
Either way,
ones?
yeah.
Preferably
Okay.
both. Did you have a
nakaka-
stalker or?
Yeah, I think every DJ at one point probably does have a stalker, in terms of they really do follow your
Whoa.
shows and they message.
Mm.
But it's not like harmful stalking. It's just like they're always there. They're always there. Like, a scary part, I suppose, was my transition from RX to NU kasi. Those are two different cultures altogether. One is pop, the other is rock. Diba?
You
Right.
have to
And
learn all
me-
the songs.
and me coming from a pop background, going into NU, and this is no secret, nanibago talaga ako. It was a baptism of fire. Diba? I would go home. I think maybe for the first 3 months that I was at NU, I would go home listening to R&B para lang mabalance. Mabalance yung aura ko. But one of the first events that I ever hosted for NU was a music laban competition.
Oh, okay.
Oo,
Sumali
dito
si Jacob dun eh.
Ay,
We
sorry.
lost.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wala akong kinalaman doon, host lang po. But yun nga, hindi ako sanay. I wasn't used to the crowd. It was an outdoor. It was here in Marikina Riverbanks. So nakakagulat yung the crowd, just the crowd. Nakakagulat, especially if you're coming from a pop background.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't pop more wild? I mean, like Jackson
No.
fans were
No.
hinihimatay sila.
Hindi
That's
eh.
different.
Oo eh, hindi eh. So, I don't know.
Just kidding,
It's
just
just a
kidding.
it's just a different atmosphere. Kung saan ako nabigla, I guess this is the scary part was, I don't mean to chuckle, but it really is scary because you don't know what to do, diba? My friends who were in bands, I'm used to seeing their fans going, Kuya, akin na yan. Kuya, t-shirt mo, akin na lang. Diba? I get that.
Okay.
Kuya, akin na lang yung pick mo. Kuya, akin na lang ID mo. Yung mga ganun, I get it. But to do it to me, it's like, what? Te, akin na lang t-shirt mo. Ha? Ano ko?
Akin na lang yung t-shirt mo.
Diba?
Nakahubad.
So, yeah, there were a couple of events that we would have to be escorted to our cars because the crowd got a
Ooh.
little bit too rowdy. That's the scary part, but I suppose after a while you get used to it, and you also learn how to command a crowd and how to handle a crowd so they don't get too rowdy. Yung nakakatuwa was I had an event in Resorts World. Napaka layo, diba? From Riverbanks to Resorts World, diba?
Riverbanks to Resorts.
Yeah, I was standing in line at a coffee shop and I ordered. I just said, "Yeah, can I just have a venti mocha frappuccino, please?" That was it. And when I got my drink at the counter, she goes, "You're Trish, right?" How the hell do you figure that out by, "Can I please have a venti mocha frappuccino?" Ha? Yeah, no, I recognized your voice. I'm never gonna talk again. So it was very heartwarming that,
Wow.
pero I'm just gonna be quiet now from the rest of my life when I go out.
Use a voice changer while
Diba?
walking or something.
Ibahin ko na lang, "Hello, venti mocha frappuccino." Ganun eh.
Yeah.
Iba na
High
lang.
pitch falsetto.
Yeah.
Dapat nakipagslaman ka din doon, Trish, doon sa... After the concert. Para...
What's up, Chong? What's up, Chong? Ang labo. Labo na feeling, what's up, Chong? Ano ba yun?
Yung meron ng fishnet yung mga bands, yung stage may fishnet. Kasi di ba they're throwing away like mineral bottles.
Well, especially sa mga malalaking concert na yun. And again, it really is up to the host of the concert or of the show to control that vibe. I think that's one of the best things that I've learned from NU. How to control a crowd, how to manipulate a crowd and their mood. Kasi yun naman talaga eh, when they see their favorite bands, I would go wild. So it really was up to us to handle that, and that's a talent in itself. Not everybody can host.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Who was the wildest act that you've seen when you were hosting those events?
Grabe.
The one where the crowd would parang
Okay, well, Slapshock, Greyhounds, Queso,
Okay, the
Chikoski.
NU ones, the new metal ones.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
Nakikipagslaman
yes.
ako sa gitna pag
Oo,
Agent
those-
Orange
those-
na yung tugtog.
Diba? Yes, but a different kind of crazy was also, Sponge Cola.
What?
Really?
Eh, di ba girls yung crowd ng Sponge Cola?
Exactly. Oh, diba? Sigawan. That again, like I said, a different kind of crazy. Ito naman si Mr. George.
Crazy in love.
Different
Yun pala
crazy
yun.
in love sila. Yes. So
With heart emoji sa mata.
Wala pa yun. Nung panahon
Wala pa
namin.
yun.
Ito naman
If it existed back then, yun yung makikita mo sa mga
placard lang yun, placard.
placards.
Love you. Ganun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ito, Trish, may question ako na medyo na-curious lang ako eh. Kasi it happens to me and I'm not sure if it happens sa radio din.
Okay.
Kasi halimbawa yung microphone. Kasi di ba ang daming gumagamit ng microphone yung everyday. Hindi ba yun Hindi ba mabaho
that's a good
yung microphone?
that's you
Sorry.
know what? That's a legit question. That is such a legit question. And it's valid. And especially now in the time of the pandemic and it seems gross now, but before obviously the things that we took for granted back in the day. One mic, one spit catcher, which is the foam I like to call spit catcher. So if kung meron isa sa amin may sakit, eventually by the end of the week the whole staff would be sick. Hindi alam mo kasi you're not supposed to talk naman like this into your microphone. You're not supposed to kiss it, right? So you're not gonna make out with your microphone. It's just the vicinity, diba? So pero may mga ibang like me before, I would take off the foam and I would spray it with alcohol. Kasi OC ako nun tapos I would put it back. So ako yun. Di ko alam the other jocks that I boarded with. But again, it's yes, it would be stinky. Alam mo yun, I'm just
Yeah. That's what I was
Smells like,
Yun yung hinihintay ko eh. Yun lang hinihintay ko, Trish. Does it smell? Oh, it does. Okay, thank you.
I was trying to put it politely. Iikot ko lang.
Parang gusto ko punasan bigla yung microphone ko saglit.
Diba?
Parang do you have to smell?
No.
Kaya nga sinabi ko
Kasi maaamoy mo eh. So, sobrang close nung mic sa nose. Parang maaamoy mo siya distinct. Lalo na pag hindi nag-toothbrush yung last DJ.
Well, how
You
about even the headset? Parang
Ay,
sharing.
amoy
I think it was we would use common headphones, but as we matured and grew up in our craft, we all prefer different sound. So people would bring in their own headphones. But yes, alam mo, I'm trying to skirt around the issue. I'm trying to beat around the bush. So yeah, again, there would be days na diba?
Medyo baka masama sa pawis, ganun.
Parang I would call our text, Kuya, palitan mo.
Spray naman.
Hindi ko na kaya, diba? Palitan please, or hugasin nyo na to, or whatever. But yeah, but again, there's a proper way naman. There's a placement of the microphone that it's not supposed to be that close to your mouth anyhow. And if it is that close, you're doing it wrong, is what she said. Sabi niyo adult audience to, so I'm not
adult audience. We're
Yeah,
adults,
yeah,
mature
yeah.
people. We can take it. We can take it. Give and take.
Mukbang sa mic.
Oh,
Yes,
diba?
ma'am.
Don't
Oh my
make out
gosh,
with
gusto
your
mo ba
microphone.
ASMR nun?
Kinakain niyo yung
ASMR.
microphone. I never understood that. I used to train kasi applicants and OGTs and whatnot. Ang lapit talaga nila I don't understand. What are you doing? Like, do you have a boyfriend? Magsiselos yung boyfriend mo. Ka.
Practice.
There's a proper loko. There's a proper placement naman kasi for microphones. So if you're really serious about voicings and being a DJ, you can't be too close. You can't be too close to the microphone. But that's too technical already. Unless you guys want to. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that insightful
Ikot pa eh. Yes, it would be stinky.
Pinahirap ko nga bigla ng alcohol yung mic ko. Baka mamaya
Diba?
nangangamoy na.
Teka lang, nasa Nagdiri
Tapos
tuloy ako. Teka lang. Okay na.
Clean,
Thank
clean.
you. Okay na.
Tapos clean. That's first question din. Kasi di ba kasi nauso nung time na radio, whenever you play some songs, there were lots of DJs often talk like before the music starts, in the middle, at the end, and di ba? That's how you guys do it. And I just wanted to ask, and this is what I heard sa grapevine na they do it because at that time piracy was prolific. So people were recording on tapes yung mga
Yes.
music na yon, and the way
Yeah.
to mitigate that is for
To talk
DJs
over
to
the
actually
intro.
talk. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Is that true?
You
That's true.
that is true.
Yeah.
Ayan, I'm not gonna be yes, it's true. Period. Wala lang- yes.
Straight answer.
The well, the talent of it is, diba? One half of the answer is it's a talent it really is a craft to talk right before to stop talking right before the intro or the lyrics come in without previewing the song.
Oh.
So it's just a natural feel. The other side of that is we were trained to, as much as possible have some sort of sound before it might be your voice or a station ID para lang hindi malinis yung track na i-record nila.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mm.
whatever you heard in the grapevine is true.
Yes, true yun. Kasi ganyan yung nangyayari, ginagawa namin. Kasi di ba may mga parties dyan, yung mga barangay parties, Christmas parties. Tapos syempre merong mga mandatory dance. Kailangan sumayaw ka. So
Oh,
people
talaga?
were, people were recording music dun sa radio, and then lagi mo may rinig yung track, di ba? You'll always hear there's a DJs speaking at the beginning, sa middle and the end. And people were dancing like that. And yeah, but it's just something, it was something, queer sa 90s. Yun yung mga quirks di ba, ng 90s
Yeah,
na ginagawa. Oo.
Still naman I think now, but not as often, I guess. Kasi ang kalaban ngayon ng radyo is your streaming services, Spotify, your
Yeah.
iPod, that
SoundCloud.
have no interruptions, diba? If you have a paid account on Spotify.
Oh, yes.
But there are no interruptions. So yun ang kalaban ng radyo ngayon. And that's why I suppose it more often than not, it's just a straight segue. You don't really get the interruptions of DJs. So maybe it's the evolution of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tsaka no mga early thousands kasi uso na yung mga LimeWire at that time. People were
LimeWire
just
pa eh, no?
downloading
Oh, yeah,
music
the
Hindi
through
ko alam yan,
LimeWire.
Hindi ko, what are you talking about?
Ano yung LimeWire?
Hindi ko nga alam eh. Sino ba to?
To the uninitiated, LimeWire
Is
It's
the
a platform.
torrent of the
Yes,
torrent of
it's a
the old
platform.
generation.
Kung gusto mo magkaroon ng viruses yung computer mo, you download stuff from LimeWire.
Got it. Noted.
That's how you get viruses on your computer. And that, tsaka Trish, may question din ako pala. Kasi di ba may mga stations I'm not sure about ang alam ko NU107 before that pala, shoutout kay Arvin. So Trish, Arvin is actually watching us. So one
Hi,
of our
Arvin.
co-hosts.
I miss you. Joke. Arvin, di ba may date tayo ngayon? 7 p.m. Ano ba?
Naku, patay tayo.
In-enjoy
Arvin.
ako ni Arvin. Grabe. That
Wag mo
first
mula,
impression.
Arvin. Yeah. Pigilan ang sarili. Pigilan.
Alright.
Ayan, yun yung question ko kasi, di ba, I think NU107 stopped broadcasting if I'm not mistaken, no?
Mhm.
And then there were other stations who changed their genres. I remember 93, I don't know which one, whether it's 93.1 or 90.9, na they were into pop music and then suddenly naging bakya music. Nag-convert na sila into bakya genre.
Bakit siya?
Hindi,
I'm
di ba?
afraid where this question is going.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm afraid where this question is going.
Change of management.
I'm screwed.
And then I mean ako kasi from my opinion, hindi ko nagustuhan, and I think kasi that's the reason why I'm listening to that specific station, kasi alam ko yung how the music that they play, the overall ambience of the station, di ba? And then suddenly to change like that, tapos syempre, I don't know if the DJs that were previously in that station when it was, doing this thing, were still there. Pero definitely the whole setup changed. I didn't like it. I don't know what about you? I mean, do you have any take on that, DJ Trish?
Yeah, we
Sa
don't
mga
like it
ganun.
either.
Mm.
Again, not beating around the bush, but I can only speak from our experience or my experience from NU. This is also part of the things that listeners aren't privy to. At the end of the day, kasi it's a business, right? It really is a business, and radio stations have to make money in order to keep broadcasting. And
Yeah.
back in the day, NU was having a difficult time. NU was having a difficult time making money, making revenue, because I suppose maybe the image or the genre wasn't really understood. When people thought of rock, they thought wild and chaotic and whatnot. Um, I remember we had no feminine product ads kasi parang hindi daw bagay. No, I'm serious. Hindi daw bagay sa
Okay, yeah,
NU.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't understand, diba? But because girls, women also listen to NU, so it was very very difficult for those that had the details. And when we were told, that NU was going to shut down, the frequency was going to shut down, and it was going to reformat into something different, it broke our hearts. I hadn't been there for a very long time. I mean, compared to Francis Brew, he had been there for a very long time. Ako, at the time, I was only there for 7 years. And I'm not
Mm.
even talking about yung mga technicians namin, our guards,
The stuff behind.
yung staff. They really, when you said you were from NU, people knew that you really loved your job because we weren't getting paid a lot. I'm not rich. What are you talking about? Or if I am rich, I don't know where the
Oh.
money is. But
I-
but it's not an industry secret. It really isn't an industry secret that NU was one of the lowest paying radio stations back in the day. But people were there because they loved their job and they loved the staff and we loved each other. It was really a family atmosphere. So,
Yeah.
masakit sa loob, but I understood because you have to make money. It's
Yeah.
money makes the world go round, diba? So I
Siguro,
suppose, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
sorry to cut you short. Siguro for context, how did radio stations normally make or sustain their broadcasting? And why did parang, kumaga, you mentioned a while ago na NU was not playing ads for feminine products. Was that an NU decision or was that
I think it was a client
decision,
decision.
client
I think it was.
decision?
I think
They
it
were
was a sponsor
disassociating.
decision. Again,
I
it's
see.
just for me. It's just my opinion or how I looked at it back in the day. I think maybe it was a client decision. Kasi nga, at the end of the day, it's a business and it's about the clients. Um,
Right.
I suppose maybe it's like every other business where you prepare packages and you cater to sponsors or clients. Kung kakagat sila, thank you. Kung hindi, you move on to the next. And that's how we survive, kumbaga, the placements, the ads that you hear. So if you hear on a morning show, like 20 commercials back to back, that means that's,
Mm.
diba? That's
You're
what clients
earning
want.
more.
Correct. And there are specific time slots on radio that sponsors go for. It's either prime time in the morning or drive time in the evening. So those are the two spots that are usually pretty heavy with commercials because that's when people are in their cars going
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So and
Half of
in the afternoon, most of the advertisements that you hear on radio are catered to wives, to mothers, to those who are staying at home. That's the play. That really is the play.
oh,
If you notice, again, a secret.
yeah, that's a psychology behind it.
Yeah, there really is.
Okay.
It's like a supermarket, diba? They put the products that they really want you to buy the parang ano tawag dito, the
But
register, diba? The cash out, the register. Those are the products they really want you to buy. Kasi it's the last thing and you're just waiting. "Ah, ito na nga lang. I need, I don't know, a mental cone."
battery.
Oh, exactly. Oh, kahit di mo kailangan. O sige, mag-Q-tip na lang ako dito. Kailangan ko pala ng Q-tip. But yeah, there's a psychology to it. And again, I suppose it's at the end of the day, it really is a business.
Yeah.
And you have to cater to both the client and your listener. So it's a very delicate balance. So
Yeah.
Actually, nung time na yan, Trish, the reason why I also listened to NU107 and I really love NU107 then was because there were very few commercials at
oh,
that time.
again,
True,
dude, that was
honestly,
one of also an appeal. To be
yes,
honest
it
with
was
you,
an
it was an
appeal.
appeal.
Yeah.
It was an
Yes.
appeal kasi we had the 40-minute rockathons, the 30-minute rockathons,
Yeah.
yung talagang
Yes.
sunod-sunod. Um,
Totoo.
that's where I learned that you don't need to talk a lot. You don't need,
Exactly.
hindi mo kailangan talaga. The music speaks for itself. Doon ko din nalaman at that's where I learned that it's not about the DJ. It's never about the DJ. It's not about me. It's the music that I
Yes.
play. So and if I make it about me, then that I have to step back and reevaluate
Mm.
my purpose because it really isn't about me. Kaya exactly why, na starstruck si Kryndall. Bakit? Because for me, it was always about the music. It was never about me. It was always about my listener and the music that I play. So, yun. Huwag ka naman starstruck.
Interesting.
Bahay ka pa tayo. Yeah.
Ano pala, habol lang sa party si Arvin. Arvin B was able to make it. Hey, Arvin.
Oh,
Good evening, good evening.
Ayan.
we have our
No.
bachelor and bachelorette in the house.
Sige, alis na kami. Bye. Kayong dalawa.
Bye.
Teka lang, dito lang
We'll
kayo.
leave you
You're
two
here to
lovebirds
witness.
behind and go.
Dito lang kayo. You're here to witness
Sige.
this.
Sige.
Witness this.
No. Good evening.
Never too late.
Ayan, pagtabihin ko kayong dalawa. Ayan.
Wow, grabe. I didn't know you can do that, ah. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Move it
Sige,
around.
tigas,
Yeah.
Sige.
I'm mas na-late pa yung host sa guest.
Okay.
But this is I have work, and sumaglit lang ako. May meeting ako at work. So sabi ko, bigyan niyo ako 15 minutes. I have to go out. I have to ask someone a question.
That's what you said the last time, Arvin. That's what you
Well,
always
that-
say.
But the thing is, I wasn't aware last time.
But, that's what you said. If it's not work, it's like traffic. If it's not traffic, it's
Well, that's how it goes.
Arvin. You
Oh,
never
that's how
have
it goes,
time for me
girl.
anymore.
Well,
You don't bring me
I'm
flowers
here.
anymore. Hi,
Flowers
Arvin,
will
I
come.
thank you.
Flowers will come. They will
Ano ba yan?
follow.
Guys, bye muna.
So-
Kaming dalawa na lang muna mag-usap.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We'll mute ourselves, okay?
No, now
Okay.
when NU ended, I was late to the party kasi. I mean, I became aware of the music scene quite late, probably in 2008 na ako nag-start to like really get into like music and whatnot and into radio. I used to listen to a lot of radio kasi I don't have internet back then at home. And then nag-aaral ako mag-gitara and well, where are you supposed to get anything, diba? So kung wala umaga mix or TV lang, paggabi na pagpaantok na, radyo lang, that's the only yun lang yung maaasahan mo. So NU107 was the radio station na hindi overplayed yung mga kanta ni Yen Constantino before. Because of course, kasi yun yung
Why?
sumikat ng mga
Yang!
panahon na, I don't know. Yun
Yes, guys.
talaga
Just name
yung,
drop. Yes.
yun talaga yung, yung putok na. So, yes, and then I was just discovering kasi like, yung mga heavier side of rock and whatnot. Kasi syempre, ang alam ko nun, yung mga naririnig ko lang lagi. Pogi, kaya Sponge Cola. Madalas yung mga nasa top, but you never hear much of Razorback or ano ba ba isa?
Wolfgang.
𝐃𝐉 Greyhounds. You won't hear
Greyhound.
more of. Actually, late na nga rin ako sa Quezon, pero yes, I'm just sad that I wasn't really there when it was the NU's prime.
The beauty of it, Arvin, is you don't have to be anywhere specific to listen to music. Their music is always around. That is the beauty of music. You're never late to the party, right? These bands, will continue to produce music no matter what, because that is their passion. It's just up to you as a lover of music or maybe a fan of music to discover these bands. And I'm not even just talking about, the NU bands. I'm talking about the fresh talent that we have. And my goodness, Filipinos just really love to sing, diba? We're just very musical. We can sing Tagalog if you speak it
Music.
well, unlike me, diba? It's very melodic. So it really is up to the fan, it's up to the listener, it's up to the consumer to seek uh, new music. So um just recently I fell in love with Moira. I'm late to the party with that. I,
Oh,
diba?
okay.
Yes, I do. I love her voice. It's very unique. So you're never late to the party. I think if I have to impart a message to you, it's why are you late? And you always say that and you're never late to the party.
Napagalitan ka pa tuloy.
Just trying to make you smile. I'm just trying to make you
Well,
laugh.
I have to agree with the Moira thing because I believe I've said this before with my friends na with when Moira came out in like with her singles and songs, I believe it was the start of the revival for me because I
Mm,
was out of the loop for maybe 3 4 years in OPM. When I heard Moira, I said, this might be like yung mitya ng revival for OPM for me. At,
yeah.
I mean, at the very least for me. And then it happened. So nagkaroon naman tayo ng hugot scene with from Moira, and I won't say I won't say that it's not because it's very good, and I'm just happy that OPM is just it's just better and not
Yeah.
better, but it's good. It's good. It's still good.
It's still thriving. One of the things that made us sad, the last batch of DJs at NU, one of the things that made us sad was we thought that rock in itself is such an isolated
Mm.
genre already. Tapos mawawala sila ng bahay. Doon kami
Uh,
nalungkot.
true.
However, we slowly realized that yun na nga, it rock doesn't need a house. Music doesn't need a house. It that's the beauty of it. Everyone understands music. Pwede tayo mag-away. We can be from two different worlds. But if we have one song in common, okay na. You know what I mean? That's why I love
Actually, yeah.
music. So, and it's also a
Siguro I
trend.
think
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
probably to your point no Arvin and Trish. Siguro kasi
Has a nice
NU
ring to it, no? Sorry.
represented
Of course it
yeah.
does.
Joke
Hindi
lang.
kumaga parang NU represented the rock industry or the rock genre at least in the Philippines. And back then internet was not that prevalent and access to music in general was not that strong pa. Parang if so when NU was taken out of the equation parang I mean especially ako parang where will I listen to rock music now? Hindi ko naman siya mapapakinggan sa ibang stations
Mm-mm.
because they don't really play
Mm-mm.
the type of music that I hear in NU in those stations. So parang I
Mm-mm.
think that's the significance or the impact
Yes.
NU at least brought in the scene.
Yeah.
We
And you
realize
became a
that.
movement. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Mm.
realized that. We realized that at the time. I mean, NU has been off the air since 2010, so it's been 11
Yeah.
years. But I still miss it. I, I really miss it. But more than the music,
Will
it
there be
was
a
really.
comeback? Yeah.
I don't think so. Do you have
Ah.
money, Jacob? Baka you want to go buy a
we
radio
we
station?
have
We can set up,
Facebook
diba?
live streaming.
No, I don't.
I,
I don't think so. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, we didn't know that it was going to shut down. I mean, we
Oh,
had a
okay.
feeling.
How
parang
many days
biglaan.
before the shutdown did you learn that it
Um,
was going to be shut down?
just go. It was like 11 years ago. But I think we were told that something might happen. Siguro mga 3 months before.
Mm.
There were talks already.
Ah, okay.
So but it never really hit us until the last day of broadcast. So, yun. This is not about the 90s anymore, guys. Sorry, ah. Sorry, thank you kayo, you show. I'll come back na lang for 90s.
Na
Yeah.
siguro,
So,
it's okay rin naman to talk about because this was a product of the 90s.
Yeah.
Parang
And
Yeah.
most
Enyo
of
was
us
born
listeners are from the 90s.
90s
This is,
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Kumbaga nangyari na lang yung mga events late 2000s na. Pero kasi may impact siya eh.
Of
What
course.
started and happened in the 90s. Last episode nga, I think parang we discussed about the impact of the party music in the 90s, how it influenced us,
Mm-mm.
90s kids,
kids.
as party goers or music listeners
Mm-mm.
in the subsequent decades to come. So parang and NU is an interesting topic to talk about kasi because for the people involved in the group, we are big fans. It has a big influence on us.
Yeah.
Well, that's my take at least.
Okay, if you take NU out of the equation, though, Jacob, right? To go back to your topic for the night, which is radio, diba? If you take NU, if you take the stations out or the call letters out of the equation, ang punot dulo niyan is radio. At the
Yeah.
time in the 90s and the early 2000s, that was really our lifeline.
Yes.
Again, no social media, no internet. That was
Yeah.
and you listen to a DJ, and you feel like they're talking to you, ikaw lang, and nobody else, and they're playing your song. It was very different. It was very cathartic. It was a way to connect to someone that you didn't even know. Diba?
Yeah.
And I suppose that was the special thing about radio back in the day. Probably still is now, but again, medyo nawawala siya because there are so many ways that you can connect with your audience now. Like you guys right now, it's
Yeah.
Facebook Live, right? And YouTube, and people go on Twitch and Kumu and all these other platforms. It's no longer unique, kumbaga. But with
Correct.
radio, diba, all you could hear was my voice. And the only thing that I could use to convey a message was my voice. You know,
Yeah.
I could be crying off the air, but as soon as I'm on the air, I'm
Hello,
on.
everyone.
Exactly. I'm
Very
bubbly.
perky.
Diba? So it was a huge responsibility back in the day. And I still believe it's a huge responsibility today for those who are fortunate enough to still be on the air during the pandemic, because a lot of radio stations were affected by it. It's a huge responsibility. Yes, it is a lot of fun if you know what you're doing and you're doing it right. It's a lot of fun, but it also is a responsibility. Kasi yun na nga eh, whatever you say is considered truth. So with great power comes great responsibility, and I think there's
Exactly.
a
Spider-Man.
generation in broadcasting that forget that has forgotten that. You have to be responsible with your choice of words, with your message, everything like that. So um I guess that's what I miss about old school radio. And something that I was thankful for in terms of K-Light. Kasi K-Light was 90s, diba?
Yeah.
90s and early 2K. So every time you would step into the booth, feeling ko I'm back in the 90s talaga. So that old school mentality of, being really strategic about things and responsible with how you say things, that's how I was trained. It was never about the personality. It was never about the personality. It was never about me. Thank you for following me through my years in radio. But my purpose, Kryndall, was to make an impact on you. And if you remember me from the day that I started in radio, then my job is done. Diba? I'm okay na ako. I can rest knowing that I've made an important impact on one person's life. Okay na yun, right? That's what I would always say. Diba? As long as I can make a difference in one person's life, I'm good. I can retire, which I did.
That's a great
That's
great message,
motivating.
Krish.
Yeah.
That's motivating.
message.
Yan din yung
Stream na nga ako
motivation.
this Monday.
Yan din yung
Go for it.
motivation ng podcast natin eh. Kasi I mean, regardless of how many people actually listen or watch, so long as you're able to, as Fish mentioned, resonate with someone, di ba? It's
Connect with
for me, it's
someone.
already connect with someone. it's already a very gratifying experience for everyone involved. Yeah.
Correct.
So the listener and also you as the host of the show.
And the bonus there is, you're sitting comfortably in your purpose, but you're having fun. And that's one way you can tell that you're doing the right thing. Because say your purpose, your passion has now turned into your purpose, and your purpose has become fun.
Yes.
Kasi if one of those things if they don't connect, diba? If your passion becomes mabigat, hindi po siya passion, hindi na po siya passion. Ang tawag po doon, trabaho.
Trabaho.
Passion of the Christ lang yan.
Exactly. Si Mel Gibson na po yun. But yeah, so you have to translate that somehow. You have to transition. And no one can do that except for, you. And kudos to you guys, kasi it really doesn't matter how many people watch. Really, it really doesn't. But as long as one person watches and one person's night is changed, edi good job tayo ngayon, right? Good job tayo tonight.
Exactly.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that, Trish. May may comment lang dito from Chris Embrador. So I remember King DJ Logan papuntang school before aga. Kala
Si
King
Logan,
DJ,
grabe. Nako.
I remember one
He
time
was-
parang he's like telling a 14-year-old kid something nasty, and it was all over the Pinoy Exchange thread.
Yeah.
It was discussed there.
Si Logan kasi was the first shock jock, I think,
yes.
in Philippine radio.
Yeah.
He had a purpose. He had a mission to shock everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I know him personally. He's the sweetest guy. He is the sweetest guy ever. Alam mo yun, yung person, again, yun din, that's old school. The personality on the air, tapos off the air is completely different. Si Logan talaga is he's such a sweet man.
Yeah.
He's a sweet man. Pero original shock jock yan eh. Diba?
So it's a
Siya yung
character
essential-
lang. Parang,
character, parang-
I suppose so. I mean,
It's a gimmick character parang
gimmick.
ganun. Oo.
Oh, kasi if you sound like everybody else, if you do look, if you're just imitating somebody else, if you're doing that, diba? If you sound like everybody else, then why would I want to listen to you? If you have something different to offer or something unique to offer, or present something, if you give me Santrival but it's presented in a different way, ang galing. But if you give me Santrival the same way every day, ayoko
Nakakaumay.
na. Oh, nakakaumay. So
And there's nothing new.
there's nothing new, and that was the challenge with K-Light naman, because we had old school tracks, we had tracks
Yeah.
from the 90s and 2K, and we had to figure out how to present that differently every single day para hindi nakakaumay. So
Speaking of King DJ Logan, 'di ba Magic 89.9 siya? I remember parang ano lang kayo, parang ang K-Light at saka yung Magic parang same building, 'di ba? Parang
Yes.
ganun.
Yeah.
Then I remember you guys are like the DJs from from K-Light and then DJs from Magic 89.9. Sometimes there's one I'm not sure if you still remember Lani Chang
I think
from
so.
K-Light. Parang
Okay.
they're playing Half-Life. So they're playing K-Light DJs are playing Half-Life with against DJs of Magic 89.9.
Yeah. There was an unspoken, there was an unspoken competition back in the day.
Parang that was so
dati
cool.
It was
Parang you guys are playing Counter-Strike.
So there was a lot, may mga LAN tournaments
LAN
pa
party.
nangyayari. May mga
LAN
LAN
party
party.
na.
Parang station versus
Oo.
station.
Pero
Parang-
masaya yun kasi when it's
Kasi I remember parang sila DJ
We're good,
Monica, parang Lani Chang was still playing Half-Life with DJs of Magic 89.9. Ko, paano yun? Ang galing, amazing. Yun. That was way
Sabi
back.
ko nga, yes, I was here for the whole conversation. Yes,
It's fine.
I
It's fine, Trish.
I buffered, right? I did. Nothing happened, guys.
Yeah.
I was here. Where
Nothing
did you
happened.
guys go?
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Ay,
Nothing
bumukta.
happened.
My God.
What buffers?
But yeah, there was a I know there was an unspoken competition. I guess it was healthy maybe because it pushed the on air staff to be at their best all the time. Um, I don't know if it's like that now because most DJs today we're all friends. We're all
Mm.
friends now. There's no
Ay.
competition. Yeah.
Were there legitimate heat or away backstage or that
Among
happened that you would
co-jocks, you mean?
yeah.
Oo naman. Ang bilis.
Ooh.
Ang bilis. Um,
Wala
oh,
ka
I guess
tabili eh.
I being in a radio station kasi it's you have to have a common goal. You have to have a common goal. You have to have a common mission. Diba? And sometimes you fight a war together. You fight a war meaning you're trying to get the listenership, you're trying to get clients to um a place with your station. So there's a common goal there. And with any company, if you spend so much time together, eventually you become family. And with any family, you have like the little disagreements. I'm pretty sure, backstage, you guys
Yeah.
sometimes have disagreements, but that doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Maybe George doesn't want me to be on top. I should be on the bottom row, because he's the technical
wow.
guy. Diba? Or maybe, how come, there's always going to be something that you can nitpick, but you choose your battles because your mission as a team is more important than those minor details. Diba?
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like any other family. It's just like any other, I guess, environment. It's just a little bit closer because we're all creative minds. Eh. Our minds are different.
Exactly.
We're all creatives. Yeah. Masyado
See.
ba malalim,
And I'm
guys?
also
Ano ba?
curious,
Tawa
Trish,
muna
though.
tayo.
Hindi. Yay! Wala yung
Yeah, we
applause ko.
started
Wala
Wala
yung
yung
applause
ano,
na
right?
sound. Oo, hindi
wala
gumagana.
yung TV can
No,
laugh.
but I do think it happens naman talaga to any kind or line of work. Pag matagal na kayo magkakasama, you eventually become family, and there's some certain expectations na parang you
Develop.
expect na dapat alam niya na yun, gito ganyan. So meron
Mm.
talagang friction or whatever sometimes when you work with people, and I think it's inevitable to have some kind of heat between jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
But since I have the spot, I would like to say na pinangarap ko rin maging DJ sa radyo. Pinangarap ko rin siya. Yeah, because I want to play my songs over the air.
Ah,
just
so selfish
because of
reason
that.
pala siya.
Yes, selfish reasons. I'm not gonna lie. Sabi ko, pag ako naging DJ sa radyo, bibigyan ko lahat ng tao dito. Because, of course, I'm a fan of, I'm not really a fan of, soft rock. I'm a metalhead through and through. So, sabi ko, gusto ko makarinig ng mas marami pang ganun. So, that's my dream back in the day. When I was in high school, nakikinig ako ng radyo. Sabi ko, ba, nakakasawa na to. Panay na lang kalyalili. Mapupulot ko dito. So, I wanted something. I wanted, for selfish reasons, I wanted to, like,
George. Oh
diba?
my God.
Also, I wanted, oo nga no, nangamatis ka doon, brada.
Huwag naman nangamatis. Sabi naman nangamatis.
No, because when I was listening to a lot of radio back in the day, I had fun listening to the DJs and how they talk and how they entertain yung mga tumatawag, yung mga nagkukwento, and then yung comment kanina na umaga pa lang panay kahalayan na, inaabot ko naman sa gabi panay lalong mas maraming kahalayan. And then sabi ko, how is this permitted? So I was thinking na wala bang nagbabantay ng mga kasi syempre sa TV, di ba? May bantay yun. So I was thinking, siguro sa radyo wala. Kasi they could, talk about such things.
No.
Parang
May bantay din kami. We do.
Oh.
It's the KBP.
KBP.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, it's also your station manager. I I guess with Logan, minsan napapagalitan din. He was suspended for sorry Logan, pero ang alam ko he was suspended a couple of times eh. Either by his no, but everybody knew that because of something that he said. Because nga
Okay.
his shtick back in the day was diba, shock jock. So first of all, before I forget, I'm such a poor judge of character kasi kanina hindi ko akalain na si Jacob metalhead. Tapos ikaw, I thought you were into R&B. Chong, seriously, I'm sorry. I would think that you're an R&B guy, but
Change of career ka na, Arvin.
poor judge
Hanggang,
of character.
hanggang usher lang ako, yun na yun. Pero, man, but I do, like, on the down low, sometimes, pero not.
Well, see,
Not
you wouldn't be
really.
using terms like down low if you weren't into R&B.
Tama pa
Huli
rin.
ka,
Tama pa rin.
Balbon.
Huli ka,
Tama pa rin. Tama pa rin. There's a in denial part of me na I listen to such songs. So tumama ka.
Why naman? It's, you're a lover of music. You shouldn't be afraid.
No,
You
I-
should be ashamed, diba? Yeah.
It's not that I'm
Siguro parang
ashamed.
we love the music. Siguro we have just a preference pa.
Oo
Parang-
naman.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
yes,
you,
yes.
Trish, di ba parang
Yeah.
you listen to all kinds of music pero you are more of the R&B pag-uwi after
Yung-
mag-uwi sa
Kind
mesa.
of. Back in the day, now I'm more into like alternate. Yeah, I'm older, so I do listen to soft rock now. Hindi na kaya ng tenga ko eh. Joke lang. But yeah,
Pero it happens,
You're correct. Your preference.
I mean, it happens pag medyo you're advancing in age, pag nawawala ka na sa kalendaryo. Ayun na yun. You start to like, I didn't mean, okay, to hit anyone with anything. Kasi
Okay
ako
lang.
pawala na rin ako
Si
doon.
Trish 18 pa lang yan. Kakausap lang.
Oo, bata.
We were just
Kakadibo
talking
lang ata ng
backstage.
isang linggo.
Oo.
Ah,
Just turned 18. How dare you?
Ganito na lang. Wala man ako sa kalendaryo, nasa loto pa rin ako.
Anong loto yan? Hindi yung tanong anong loto yun kasi, di ba?
May mega loto.
May mega loto.
Bye you. Bye. Anyway, moving on.
Next time.
Ito may
Meron tayong
may
question.
May
Yan.
question lang dito. Our
Ay,
podcast is
question
the new
yan.
radio. Is it going there or di siya kaya mapalitan? Our podcast is the new radio.
Radio will always be radio. Radio is radio is radio. There's always going to be a market for it. It just has to have the ability to adapt to the times that we are in. Because as I said earlier, ang kalaban dyan is your automated playlist, your iPods, your Spotify, your, that yun yung kalaban nun eh. And if people understand that, if people understand that, they will be able to adjust to what's happening. But there's always going to be that special feeling when somebody says, I'd like to say hello to Arvin. Thank you so very much for listening. Here's your song. Diba? There's something different there. You don't get that on
My
Spotify.
heart.
So that's sige, wag ka na lang. I'd like to say hello to Jacob.
Shout out.
Teka,
Mga shout
binawi
out.
mo pa. Andun na eh.
Andun na eh. Late ka kanina eh. Baka sakali kasi. Hindi ko nababawiin. But there's a different feel to it. There's a different feel to having that connection. There's a different feel to somebody actually thinking of a segue that sounds good. You're not depending on a shuffle. You're depending on somebody's talent in stitching songs together. So I guess that's why radio will never die. Podcasting is just a different medium for it. They can live in the same world. I don't think there should be a competition between the two. Podcasting
Right.
is a different world altogether, diba? You have to keep talking, diba? There's no music to save you or to give you rest. There's also no commercials or sponsors. You have to get one for the whole thing. So
This is
you
sponsored
have
by Bygone. Ay, ano eh.
exactly.
Well, so-
Maraming po salamat sa mental ko. So you have to really cater to a specific client pag podcasting eh. So it's a different monster altogether. I think they can survive naman on the same, in the same world. They're both
Mm.
broadcasting. They both require talent and passion and purpose. So pwede naman. Pwede naman siya. Yeah.
I think there's a certain magic
Yes.
pag sa radyo. Kasi, alam mo yung feeling na inaabangan mo yung kanta mo yung susunod. Or parang alam mo na inaabangan mo yung kanta mo sa araw na yun. Meron siyang piplay siya sa isa sa umaga, isa sa hapon, o isa sa gabi. I mean, of course, with the on-demand mentality that we have right now, I mean, kung kailan mo gusto, go lang. But with radio, you're like forced to have a certain kind of excitement. And you're forced to be patient then na marinig mo yung kanta mo and then yung DJ na inaabangan mo and whatnot. Of course, lahat naman siguro nagkaroon tayo ng, or rather, for us the listeners, meron kami mga paboritong DJs before and syempre, inaabangan namin yung mga segments nila or whatnot. And yun yung nakakamiss, even on TV, pero with such mediums that we have right or platforms, nawawala yung magic, I think, in my opinion. Kaya radio will always be radio.
Yeah.
That magic contributes to album sales kasi people listen to the radio. Diba nga, you will only listen to your song siguro once, twice a day. For you to actually, if you really want to listen to that song every time,
Bilhin mo yan.
you're compelled to buy the album. It was one of the reasons for the big push. Kung paano, di ba nakakabenta yung mga labels? Ngayon,
Actually, weird
Yeah.
nga, after mo mabili yung kantang inaabangan mo sa radyo, pag nabili mo na at playable na siya sa CD or sa cassette,
Hindi mo na
parang
trip.
hindi na siya as exciting as pag
Iba
napapakinggan
yung
mo sa
feeling
radyo.
kapag inaabangan mo sa radio station.
Iba eh.
That's why
I
you
get-
have to keep
yeah.
on requesting the song. I
get
remember
that.
there's one radio station, yung MRS, most requested song. You have to request the song and then they will play it every hour kung sino yung nag-top one.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
That's interesting.
92.3 before siya naging Joey.
Before siya naging
that's-
Tulfo.
And before
No.
exactly. That's
Just being
their
honest.
forte. Parang ganun. You
Yeah.
have to request the song and then if it's the top song of the week, it will be played every hour. Pag strike ng 12.
Galing.
But
But I have a confession to make. Whenever I would be on board and somebody would request a song, a specific song, over and over and over again, sadya kong hinuhuli. Sadya ko talagang hinuhuli.
para
Bakit?
makikinig talaga.
Yes. So I have that listener's retention up until the end. Kasi alam ko na inaabangan niya yung song niya.
Aha.
Sorry, that's manipulation on our part, but that really is a secret.
Yeah.
You know,
It
and
works.
you keep
Save the
It
best
wor-
for
exactly.
last. Yeah.
it works because Kryndall, I've got your song coming up. Just hang on for a minute. It's coming up before the hour ends, so you're like, she's gonna play my song before the hour ends.
Abangan mo yun.
Diba? Oh shucks, I forgot. Oh Kryndall, I'm so sorry. I'll play your song tomorrow. I forgot.
Aabangan mo ngayon kinabukasan.
That's a trick.
Galing.
That's a good trick for future DJs. Ihuli.
Takbo.
Huli mo.
That's the industry trick. May tanong
Yes.
pala ako sa'yo, Trish. Ano ba yung,
Opo.
may ano ka ba dyan? May mga, di ba, I mean, do you have any other stations that you listen to apart from, of course, the station that you're in? Meron ka bang parang preferred station back in the day, in the 90s? Or DJs then? Or talagang, ano?
Holy cow. That's a good question. I know that I wouldn't listen to the station that I would be working for. I know that sounds really rude. Because, well, I mean, I would, but I wouldn't like forever listen to it. Like it wasn't the only radio station in my car. I would listen. Okay, I'm again. Bakit pag sayo iniikot ka talaga yung sayo? I think I would listen to. If I did listen 89.9, that was my dream station before.
89.9.
Always wanted to, Magic 89.9. And I've always listened to 96.3 W Rock. Remember someone today because
Wow.
mellow.
Tira. Well,
So like, diba? And
Wala
then
na.
there, diba? Huhugot
Binanalo
ka
na.
kahit wala kang huhugutin, di ba? Yung like, kanina wala akong problema, bakit ngayon meron? Okay naman ako kanina eh. Okay naman ako, bakit? So I guess it just depends on my mood. I never really had like a station that I would listen to though. Yeah.
May question si Frizz again. Ano nangyari at bakit nagkaroon ng time na may shows wala na halos kanta, puro commercial at usapan na lang ng hosts? Yeah, I think yan yung mga yung mga morning rush, yung mga ganun tsaka
Yes.
yung
Yeah. And there was a time where people in the morning, I don't know if it's changed, but people in the morning would rather listen to conversation music.
yeah.
There was a point, I suppose, in radio, but I don't know what the trend is now. I haven't been on radio for 2 years now. Ang alam ko, I've always been, ever since I joined NU, it was always, less talk, more music. Kasi if they wanted to hear somebody talk all the time, they would listen to AM. Sorry, George. You wouldn't be listening, diba? You wouldn't be listening to FM if you maybe there's maybe. I mean, si Tulfo, yeah, it's like chismis factor, diba? That's like you're like
It sells eh. Pag yung content ni Tulfo, it
Exactly.
sells talaga.
it's sensational. You want to listen to other people's problems so you can forget about your own, diba? That's why it works. Tsaka nanunong yung mga tao. So I guess it just really depends on the station. It depends on the station and its format and its listeners. So if it works for that station, then it works. Yeah. So that's it. Si
Yun yung
Tulfo,
my preference. Ako rin sa morning whenever I drive to work, I prefer to listen to podcasts. I don't like to listen
exactly.
to music, na loud music. Parang ayoko, gusto ko clear yung head ko. I want my brain to start parang engine siya. Gusto mo uminit na siya eh.
Diesel
So
ka ba?
the way you do that.
Diesel ka ba?
Pinapainit pa.
Parang
plancha.
pick-up line yun ah. Diesel ka ba?
May 15
Diesel
minutes
ka ba?
pang naka na lang.
Oo.
Sige, start mo muna yan. Dyan muna yan.
Mahirap
Hindi siya
eh.
pick-up
Medyo,
line. Medyo busted. Diesel ka ba? Ang tagal mo eh, di ba? Hello? Ang slow mo.
mahirap.
Kumaga, akala mo pick-up line pero hindi, busted ka ba?
Busted ka,
Oo.
Chong. Yoko eh.
Rundown.
Diesel ka eh.
Mahirap kasi rundown engine na kasi. Rundown engine eh. So, mahirap eh. Mahirap pero yun nga, kailangan mo to start your day. I prefer to listen to podcasts rather than to listen to music. And I guess this is the same case to those people who listen to radio, to morning chat. Yung mga ganyan klase ng mga
Yeah.
programs in the morning.
Morning rush,
tsaka-
mga ganun.
tsaka yung mga
Baliktad
movie.
tayo. Baliktad
baliktad.
tayo, Mr.
Oo.
George.
Mm.
Ako kung gusto mo yung salita lang. Sa akin talaga, ingay muna. Para pagdating ko dun sa trabaho, galit na ako. Ano problema nyo? Ganun agad. Ano problema? Ilagay mo dito. Tapos na. Hindi na nag-init yung ulo ko. Pagdating ko dun, mainit na eh.
Baka Arvin,
Na-break in na.
hindi music ang kailangan mo. Siguro asawa para
Naku po!
Naku,
Ayun!
You don't need the radio. You just need a partner.
Darating tayo dyan.
Kung umaga pa lang, mainit na ulo, hindi pa nakikinig ng radyo.
Exactly.
Hindi. At least sa gabi, sa gabi naman, yung isang ulo naman yung iinit. Kayo naman.
Yung galit.
Oo.
Anong ulo yan?
Okay na yun.
My goodness.
Yung ulo, ito.
Adult, mature
Exactly.
conversation.
That's
Adult
what I'm
and
saying.
mature conversation.
Kayo naman.
I shouldn't be here then if it's an adult and mature conversation. Damn it. I'm in the wrong place. But yeah.
Tas may question. Sige,
Yes,
Trish.
Bob.
Sorry, you're...
It's just
go ahead.
it's just a matter of preference. Like if Jacob likes rock and Arvin likes rock, I like soft rock. It's just really a matter of preference. But the bottom line is you still love radio, diba? So
yes.
okay.
And-
So
and
your
Do
question.
you guys listen to AM radio? Kasi
Oo
ako,
naman.
parang ako lang yung
Ako-
nag-endorse kanina eh.
Oo.
Yeah.
Pag nasa
I
taxi.
would.
Pag nasa
Si
taxi.
Ernie, Actually, si Ernie Baron ang pinapakinggan ko dun.
Wow! Wow!
Last
No,
I
same
don't
here.
know why.
Ernie Baron.
Sobrang
here.
90s. Sobrang
Wow!
90s.
No, on my
Hindi
way
kasi
to
di ba
work,
yung mga trivia niya parang napaka quote-unquote insightful.
diba?
Parang,
Edi,
ay talaga?
si Kuya Kim now, diba?
Yeah.
That's his role
Si
now.
Kuya Kim. That's his
Yeah, si Kuya
shtick
Kim.
now.
Oo naman.
Yeah.
AM, kasi part of your childhood, ako, lumaki ako na AM din eh. Like, yung parents
Mhm.
ko, they're listening to AM radio, DCRH, ganun. Yung mga news. Yeah. Oo.
Not to
kaya-
mention, mas madali siyang hanapan ng sweet spot compared sa FM.
No, hindi
Yung sweet spot na yan. O kaya, pag 6:30 lahat ng mahahanap mong
Grabe yung ano,
Georgia,
6:30 ka lang makikinig.
violent reaction from George. My God. Oh my
AM ako. I'm an AM guy. I'm an AM guy. Ito ano AM na joke.
Notification mo, may masasagap kang Chinese radio station sa AM, diba?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Ba? Talaga?
Oh,
Let me try
Hindi
that
ko alam
tomorrow.
yun,
I'm just gonna sit up my
Pag
car.
nasa pag nasa Norte ka, meron.
that was early 90s, diba? Parang,
Okay.
Oo.
I would listen to AM kasi naaaliw ako with how they speak. Kasi obviously bulol ako mag-Tagalog eh. So I would try to learn stuff from AM, but obviously nothing really sank in. I used to listen to Jerry Baha on my way to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maganda.
See, I can't do that. I can't. Dude. If my life depended on it, I would die. I can't do that. I'd be
That's
dead.
like your,
Are you a native ba of, were you born here or were you raised here?
Parang native
Kasi parang lang na pinaka ng manok. Siguro kasi you mentioned na may tuwang ka, hence gave you the gateway to enter the industry. So,
Yes.
and syempre, Pinoy naman hindi normally ganun magsalita. Where did you develop that twang?
In the accent itself.
I was born in Quezon City, but I was raised in Chicago, Illinois, USA. So that's where my twang comes from.
East side.
Yeah.
Kaya pala.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Because
never.
I was
The ironic thing about it was when we first got here, we came back when I was 13. So I think that was 1991. You guys can do the math to figure out what number I am in the lotto. But yeah, when we first got here, diba, and I didn't know a stitch of Tagalog, I was made fun of because of my accent. People would look. People would turn around. I get the fascination with, how come she speaks with that kind of an accent? But and then I went to an international high school, so I never really got to. I didn't have to adjust too much because nobody spoke Tagalog in the international high school. But as soon as I graduated high school and I went to UST, ay, grabe. My God.
Mix.
My God. Umiiyak ako araw-araw on the way. I don't wanna be there.
God, really?
I swear to you. I swear to
God.
you. If any of my college
No,
friends
it's-
watch this, they'll be like, yep, I did that. Yeah. They used to make fun of me. Like, they would actually ask, Pat, kasi name Patricia, Pat, konyo ka ba? Dude, do you even know what? And me being like the elitist and went to be, took Spanish for 4 years. Do you even know what konyo means?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different meaning.
Sobra. And so the guy was like, do you even know what konyo means? We're taking notes, and he looked at my watch. And my watch said, I don't know, Rolex or whatever.
Oof.
Konyo ka ba, Pat? I said, do you know what that word means? He goes, yeah, rich. I said,
No, it's
why do you say I'm
different.
rich? So, why do you say I'm rich? Because of your watch. Hindi niya lang alam. Binili ko yung watch na yun sa Baklaran. Alam mo yun? You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I was made fun of because of my twang back in the first 2 years of college. I was really traumatized. I know my we're okay now, my college friends back then, but it just goes to show that whatever you think is a handicap can be something that you can make a career out of, because if I didn't
Yeah.
have this twang, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've had thus far. My only regret now is that I can't lose the twang if I speak formal Tagalog. So I hardly do any projects that are Tagalog. Like for example, hindi ko alam kung anong ibig sabihin ng kahalayan. I don't know what that means. I just
Kahalayan.
kind of
Yeah.
assume.
Halay.
Kahalayan.
See?
Farmland.
Don't know.
It's like salacious or
Kahalayan means
That's just
farmland.
okay. Thank you.
Medyo marami siyang ibig sabihin eh. In context.
30 minutes
Malabo
later,
rin kasi Tagalog
nagpo-cover
eh.
pa rin ako.
Medyo malabo rin kasi Tagalog eh. So, it's
So,
understandable.
yeah. No, I can't do. Like that's why I can never survive in like a masa station. Kasi Taglish sila, hindi ko kaya. I can't. Tapos ang bilis pa nila
Mm.
magsalita. Ay, nako. Tapos may babasahin pa. Oh my God, yari. Diba,
Kailangan ko
conversational
bang
Tagalog.
i-memorize yan?
No, I can't. Makita ko na po tayo. I can't memorize it. I can't memorize it for diba? For crap. I can't. So, I'll just stick to what I'm good at. I'll just stick to what I'm good at and I'll practice Tagalog na lang. Na lang.
Taga. Pero,
I'll just like practice Tagalog na lang.
Ayan, sabi ni
ayan,
Freeze.
Trish, challenge, Trish.
Ay.
Trish, challenge. Come on.
Oh my God, Friss. I think you know what? Remember, Friss, we were like really close like 5 minutes ago. We were friends. We were friends. I don't know what happened, but mo ko'y naaway. Okay. Wait, there's two. Nakaka pag ba no. Hold on. How long is this show? Nakakapag bag. Okay na yun. Okay na yun.
Yay!
Wala ka bang applause?
Now 3 in a row
Wala
very
eh.
quickly.
I can't. Nakakapagpabagaba. What does that mean again though?
Ako hindi ko kaya yan eh.
Nakakapagpabagabag.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Oh, I won't even try on that. I'll just put your...
It's all A's. My goodness, it's all vowels. Diba? It's like Hawaiians. It's all vowels.
Thank you.
May shortcut
Thank you for
naman,
that, Chris.
nakakaano.
Nakakaano ka?
Ganun na lang.
Nakaka-birthday ka.
Tawag dito, oo, grabe.
Sobra ka. Nakakaano.
Trish,
Birthday.
paano yung sa Enyo, di ba, pag, for example, mga Summer Slam, di ba? Tapos, you need to speak, or else for Zologs, di ba, ganun.
Dude,
Ay,
you know that?
Trish, were you there? Yung sinabi ni, sino ba yun? Yung
Sir.
parang, kamusta kayo mga Jologs? Si Dito Campo.
And
Were you there at that event?
I'm not sure if I was, but I've heard that story. And it's
Well.
it's only because the explanation was, and I recently learned this explanation from a friend of mine who used to be a part of his band called Blow. He was promoting a movie at the time called Jologs. Kaya niya, wrong move ka. No. So, yeah. But with the events, I slowly learned how to I slowly learned how to relax in my Tagalog because I was so conscious of it before. But then, dinaan ko sa biro, like on the air, alam niyo naman, diba? I can't speak Tagalog. So I would ask the listeners, what is one Tagalog word that you want to teach me? Ganon. So that's how, when we have events, they don't expect much Tagalog from me. Never mind. Okay lang yan, Chong. Kumusta ka, Chong? Hanggang doon lang naman eh. Okay ba tayo dyan, Chong? Okay ba? Okay, sige, game. It was a lot of, and you listeners are very forgiving and loving. I think that was a stereotype and a, just a fallacy that people thought that they were always, wild. No, and you listeners were so loving and caring and lambing. Seryoso. Mm-mm. They were mm-mm. They were the pom-pom.
Misunderstood kasi, Krish. The
Exactly.
N107
Yes.
listeners were misunderstood.
Yes. Yes. They were. Yes, we were. We were the misfits that were
Yep.
misunderstood.
Yes, at that time. Ayun. So, I think, ayan, masyado na nating na, this was an insightful about 2 hours, more or less 2 hours. Thank you, Krish.
Aw.
But before
Hope you
before
guys
we
had
let you
fun.
go, thank you very much. Meron ba kayong meron bang mga final messages, final thoughts about radio before we close? Any
Are
Are
final
you
thoughts?
asking me or them?
Anybody? Anyone? Ay, sige, Trish, ikaw,
Internet killed
yeah.
the radio star.
Not so much about radio, but about pursuing what you love to do. Um, you have to be careful not to go over that line where your passion becomes work. And as soon as you feel that, as soon as you feel na nahihirapan ka with your passion, just take a step back and breathe and then go at it again. And then one day you will discover your purpose. By pursuing your passion, you will discover your purpose. But along with that purpose, please do not forget that you have a great responsibility. You have such a great responsibility. You have the opportunity and the privilege of being able to influence other people without you knowing. Because right now, I know that you guys can see how many people are watching, but you never know how many people will go back to this and listen to it and watch it. So, this is all good and fun, but there is a huge responsibility. Um, and for anyone who wants to pursue any sort of arts or broadcasting, I say go for it. You don't need to have a twang. You don't need to have, a specific sound. You don't need to have a bassy voice. You don't. You just need to have a message and a purpose, and you're halfway there. And just believe that you can do it. And I know in the pandemic, it's really, really difficult to do stuff. But if there is a will, there's a way. Ika nga ni Rico Blanco, di ba? Kung gusto may paraan, kung ayaw maraming dahilan. Katulad ni Arvin po kanina.
Yan!
Nadali na
Yeah.
nananahimik.
Go after your dreams. I think, more than anything, go after your dreams, and your dreams will always be there for you. So, yun. Sorry, ang dami kong sinabi. Ano ba yan, Trish? Hindi mo
No,
naman
it
show.
was-
I take it,
No,
Trish,
thank
you're
you.
a
Thank you,
Spider-Man.
Trish, for that.
You're a Spider-Man fan, no?
No, I'm a big, you know what? I know we're about to end, but to be honest, I thought the beginning of my career, Jacob, I think maybe for the first 15 years, it was just all fun and games. You know what I mean? It was just all fun and games. And then I reached a point in not so much age, but maturity, and knowing that it was such a privilege to be where I was and to be where I am, that I have a platform and I can use it for good. Diba? I can use it to make people smile. I can use it to uplift people. I can use it to spread a message, bring awareness to certain issues, and not everybody can do that. So who am I? Ang bastos ko naman kay Lord kung hindi ko siya alagaan. Alam mo yun, if I don't take care of this privilege. So I guess that's where I'm coming from now. It's not so much, but yes, I am a Spider-Man fan. I don't really like I like Andrew Garfield, but it's true naman eh, diba? It really is true, with power comes great responsibility, and with responsibility comes power. So you have to really strike that balance. Di nyo akalain seryoso pala si Trish, no? Kasi on the radio, puro patawa lang ginagawa ko. Hindi po. I'm deep. I'm smart, yo. Ang tao ko. I'm smart, man.
Yes. Bagay na bagay yung platform na to, DJ Trish. Which is a mature platform, di ba? Mature.
Again, I'm in the wrong place. But, kudos and congratulations to the four of you and to the rest of the team of Mint TV, because, you really do need more content like this. It can't all be fun and games. You also have to have, proper discussions where people are free to express opinions, and the fact that you guys are still doing this na pandemic and you guys aren't even together, one is abroad and you still find a way. I think you guys have found your purpose, and I wish you, more luck and more viewers and more shows. And anytime you need like a back guy, a backstage guy, I'm your chick because I know StreamYard. Ako na pangalan, Mr. George. Ano ba yung gusto mo? Applause?
Applause. Yay! Cheers!
I'm bala sa
Cheers.
inyo. But yeah, you guys are doing, congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
DJ Trish. Thank you very much for that. Ayan. So, dali. Before pala natin i-end, meron kasi kaming segment dito where we award yung mga commenters natin. So, ito yung
Okay.
ating commenter for the day. Sandali. Si Mr. Chris Ebrador.
Yay!
For sa nakakapagpabagabag na
Reset!
thank you for that comment. Yan.
And if
Na-practice
you're
ng-
single, Sir Chris, hit us up.
and ready
we
to
might,
mingle.
Yeah, we have someone single and ready to mingle here.
I don't know who. I'm not
Arvin?
sure who.
Not
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
Oh, tara, Chris, tara. Tayo na lang. Tapusin na natin. Char lang.
I don't know, Ben. Do you like older women? I don't know.
As long as they're women.
Ayan. So,
No. Ano to, Mr. George? Ano to?
ah,
But yeah,
That's it.
thanks, guys.
That-
Thank you.
Thank you.
DJ Trish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Yan. Thank you to those sa mga nanood, tsaka sa mga nag-comments. So, tune in next week as we discuss PM is the key. Sorry.
Chris, tama na.
Every market na.
Okay na, kuta ka na.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your contributions. So tune in next week as we discuss more 90s topics. You can watch replays of the show when it goes up on Anchor.fm and it's released on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Also, please don't forget to follow and like the TVPH Facebook page. And also, please follow Miss Trish Cabral's yan. DJ Trish, follow her Facebook page. That's the link to her
Thank you,
Facebook. Yan. So, happy weekend, guys. Stay safe and we hope to see you again next week. Cheers. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bless you.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.